Hey guys, today I am going to be doing a first impressions on the Freedom Pro 12 Audacious Matte palette, and this is from Professional London. It's somehow related to Makeup Revolution, I think. I'm not sure. I couldn't find this in shops. This was only available on Tam Beauty, which is the new kind of Makeup Revolution site, and it holds loads of brands. So yeah, I'm not sure. So here are the beautiful colors, and it comes with the traditional makeup stick of horrors that I'm pretty sure that no one ever uses. So the reason I got this is because I do have loads of matte singles in like the same shades. I am constantly getting nudes, and I decided it was time to just get one palette that had them all, and I love how it's laid out going from light to dark because it just soothes my soul when things are nicely ordered. I also really like that a lot of these shades are cool toned, and because I have cool toned skin, it's much easier for me to do kind of quick eyeshadow looks with cool toned shades. There are some warm toned shades, you know, this yellow is quite warm toned, that brown looks a bit warm, maybe this one. But I like how it has this kind of range, so, you know, over the year as you get more and less tanned, you can kind of jump up and down shades. I also like these two because they're cool toned enough to be used as a contour shade if you use eyeshadows for your contour shade, which I sometimes do. This palette is £4 and you get 12 grams and it lasts you for 12 months. And it does have the ingredients on the back, which I am obsessed with. I love to have my ingredients on the back so that I know what I'm putting on my face. I know what's in my product. So that's great. And it's just like, this is like a stick-on label, which is fine. You can see, you know when you buy makeup and it's like sealed, it has like a bit of tape around it, and then you take it off and then it gets like sticky and it's just sitting in your bag picking up fluff and it's a bit gross. Like, I really need to clean that. The lid is see-through plastic and it just has like a black border, and I hate this. You can see already that it's really kind of, I've scuffed it up quite a lot, but because it's got that see-through thing, you don't get a mirror inside, which, to be honest, with makeup palettes, with eyeshadow palettes, like, I don't care so much about having a mirror because I'm not normally doing this like outside. It's not like, you know, I don't touch my eyeshadow up when I'm outside. I just suck it up if it looks bad. So let's start swatching, and I'm going to start from the lightest shade and like work along this way to the bottom, and I will put like a picture on the screen so you can see which one I'm swatching so that I don't have to hold this up anymore. Just so you can see how I'm doing my swatches, because I know people like to know. So I'm going to do like one swipe across the product, and I'm not digging into it or anything like that, just one gentle swipe across. You can see how much product is being picked up on the brush. And then I am just going to, can you see, swatch it on my arm. And we got like not very much pigment off of that one. So I'm just going to swatch them all. And there is a lot of fallout going on. It's quite crumbly. And you can see that on the eyeshadows as well. And I don't know if these aren't showing up because they're not pigmented, or if it's because it's very similar to my natural skin tone. Not much going on with these, huh? Come on, give me something. I will swatch these with primer after as well. I mean, as we're getting darker, it is getting a bit... So I don't know if you can see kind of how much powder is kicking up. These are really, really fallout. It really is kind of Fallout City on these. And when you look at the pan, you can see all that fallout. So I'm just going to blow that off. I'm going to take a picture of these swatches on my phone so that I can stick it up in the corner just so that you guys can, you know, eye candy it a bit. So the lighter shades really, you know, there isn't that much payoff. I can't even really see where I've done the swatches. But as it gets darker, you do get more of that color payoff. I will say that with nudes, generally I don't want them to be super pigmented. You know, if I have like a pink shade, you know, like these, I want these to be pigmented. I want my eyes to be blue. But with nudes, I'm generally using them as like transition colors or blending colors. And so I don't want them to be super pigmented. I want that kind of light coverage like we're seeing here. So I'm going to do more swatches with primers. I really hope you can see like the swatches I'm doing, because it's kind of awkward with the arm. I haven't figured it out yet. I need to go to YouTube school. So I'm just going to put like, can you see what I'm doing? Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to put primer. Okay, so I've just put like primer up my arm so that we can swatch them on primer. And this is the Makeup Academy Pro Base Eye Primer. So it is slightly colored, or well, it's kind of, you know, concealer colored, you can see here. So I'm going to switch to a clean brush, if I can find one. Yep, you are clean. I'm switching to a clean brush for these, and I'm going light to dark again and just doing the swatches the same way. So a single swipe in the product, and it does pick up, you know, a decent amount of product from a single swipe. And then I'm just going to swipe it over the primer. Oh, and that actually looks like it's coming out better. We're getting some color payoff. Maybe there is hope for this palette yet. Okay, so there they are with primer, and you can see they are showing up. Ooh, they are showing up much, much better, but they are a bit patchy. But so I'm going to build them up just like a little bit, just to, you know. I'm going to switch over to a clean brush again. My brushes. Ooh, okay, over primer, these are much, much nicer. I did just build them up a bit. Guys, please, filming. Okay, so with the primer, you can see that they have come up much, much nicer. I did one swipe to start with, and then I went back and built them up. Because let's be honest, when you're putting on your eyeshadow, like, we're not all doing, you know, one swipe. You're building it up until you get that coverage. So the one swipe was very patchy on top of primer, but once it was built up a little bit, they're actually very nice. I'll take another picture of that on my phone so I can stick it up on the screen so I don't have to hold my arm up for ages. Okay, so I'm going to do a really quick look because I need to do my eye makeup anyway, and I'm going to use that same primer, the Pro Base Eye Primer. So I'm going to use this shade here. By the way, this does not have shade names. And I'm just going to use a fluffy brush to apply that just so I get a really nice coverage. And again, I mean, it picks up a lot of product. This is very, very crumbly. And again, you can see kind of how much fallout I'm getting. So I'm just going to dab that all over the primer and bring it up to my brow so that everything looks a nice, even color. And then I'm going to use this like slightly fluffier brush. And what shade? So I'm going to go in with this shade, which is a coolish toned brown, but it's not too intense. And again, it really, really picks up a lot of product when you do that. And I'm just going to stick that in the outer corner just above the crease. And it's already starting to give me that fallout on my face. Hooray! So I'm switching over to a clean brush and I'm just gonna blend that out a bit. So I'm just doing this really quickly because, you know, I'm sure like most of you, you know, I don't always have a ton of time to do my makeup before my day starts. So I feel like that's, you know, when I'm buying something, that's generally what I'm interested in. Like, can I use this to really, really quickly do my makeup with, or am I gonna have to like spend hours and hours trying to get it to blend and stuff? So this is the same shade. I'm just going in under my eye to kind of tie it together a bit. Oh, losing my decorations again. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the outer corner and I'm going to use almost the darkest shade, this like really dark brown one. I'm just going to put a teeny tiny bit of that in the outer corner. The old V. And bring it down just a tiny bit onto the bottom lash line. Or maybe not the lash line, the under the lash line thing. So I'm just going to use a teeny tiny bit of this, this light shade in the inner corner. Normally I have an inner eye brightener, which I will review because I'm kind of in love with it, but let's just see if we can do it all with this one palette. No, we can't. No, that light shade, it is so light, I think you really have to put a product down underneath it if you want it to really show up, because it's not showing up for me at all. Do you guys always find you have like one eye that comes out like a bit, that comes out like a bit better than the others? Like when you look in you're like, oh, my eyes are totally even, and then when you like do a selfie, you're like, oh, no, they're not. So let's do pros and cons of this palette. Obviously, the first pro is it is really cheap. It's £4 for all of these shades, and you get quite a lot of product. You get, you know, quite a lot in each pan. It should last you quite a while. This is kind of a pro con depending on what you like, but these eyeshadows are very soft, so you get quite a lot of fallout. You could see it, you know, when I swatched them on my arm and when I swatched them when I put my brush in the thing. But when I was applying the shadow to my eyes, you didn't get a lot of fallout. You know, you can tap your brush off a little bit just to get any excess product and then put it on, and I didn't get a great deal of fallout on my face, just a little bit, nothing too dramatic. But I know some people hate fallout, but personally I care more about how the shadow looks when it's on my face, like how it looks when my makeup's done, rather than whether or not there was fallout before my makeup was finished, unless obviously it's, you know, something that's so bad that it kind of just ruins your makeup before you're done. They are really, really easy to blend because they are very soft. So I just used, what is this, Makeup Revolution E103 brush, which is kind of fluffy but still quite dense, and that blended them really easily, really nicely. I think, I bet in the comments everyone's going to be like, oh, your eyeshadow wasn't blended properly, but shh, guys, because I used a primer, I found I didn't have to actually use that much product. I mean, when you consider the difference between the non-primer and the primer, like how much pigmentation there is, you know, I think with primer you're really good to go. So yeah, I really like it. It's £4. You get so many shades, so many of them are cool toned. I would say that almost all of the shades do come out slightly warmer than they do in the pan. I would say that some of them are still cool toned, you know, these N2, 3. Then the next two are slightly warmer than I thought they would be when I look at them in the pan. These two are still cool. I'd say that's like middle, that's yellow toned. And these two, it's hard to tell because they really don't show up. Oh, I'm holding it really high. Damn it. Because I wanted you to see the swatches as well. So you do have a really good range, you know, especially if you're using the lighter shades just to kind of even out your eyelid color over some primer, and then, you know, one of these in the crease to like give you that dimension. Or, you know, they would work really well as transition colors as well. I do think there's enough range and there's enough undertones in the shades to really work well for quite a lot of people. I still think these would work really well as contour shades, because if we look at the non-primer side, they are very, very light. They're not super pigmented, so you would be able to build up that contour to, you know, however intense you want it. I don't really do the intense contour, so they're perfect for me. Like say with primer, they are nicely pigmented. You can build them. But, you know, if you're one of these people where you're like, I want to do one swipe with my brush and I want that pigment to be like, boom, like with, you know, MAC shadows or Makeup Geek shadows and stuff, then yeah, this palette is not going to be the one, because there is a huge difference between the payoff you get with primer and the payoff you get without. So yeah, that's it guys. I am really happy with this palette. I will do a blog post, like a first impressions blog post as well, with all the pictures. So, you know, pictures of this, pictures of all the swatches, things like that, and maybe some the eye look, things like that. And yeah, so if you want to just go and drool over pictures, then you can do that, link in the description. So thanks so much for watching guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye. Ooh. Ooh. Overexcited.